Hi, guys. Thank you so much for being here watching this. I appreciate you very much. I'm going to touch on a little bit of a triggering subject, I guess, and this is in regards to true love. So, how did I get into this? How did I get into this whole thing? Might explain a little bit. Basically, I went through my share of kids, cover your ears, really shitty, effed up relationships. I just went through some really messed up relationships, and I had true love in there, mixed in the mix, but I completely missed the true love because I had some healing to do. So I made it my mission. I stopped sleeping around a while ago, quite a while ago, because I used to do that quite frequently. And I decided I am not going to participate in that activity anymore unless I was truly in love with someone. So, and that kind of began everything. And then I was like, well, then how do I look for and find somebody who's a really good person who isn't going to treat me that way? Somebody who's kind and loving and all of those wonderful traits. So I'm gonna, when I say we, meaning readers that talk about these subjects and do readings on these guys. The masculines, the divine masculines, are by no means acting divine during this time. What happens is, let me think of how. I think first I want to wrap up that story of my past, saying that when I did decide to put the focus on me and start healing myself so that I could be my best for another relationship and attract something that's really awesome for me, things started to really shift and change in my life. And I started to be able to manifest things. I started to be able to be happier. I didn't have to manipulate anybody to be happier. I could tell my truth. I could set boundaries, healthy boundaries with people. I could actually be my authentic self. And things started to improve a lot. And I wasn't being like, throwing tantrums, and I wasn't being like all about me and acting like a victim all the time, acting like, oh my gosh, if only the whole world would cooperate with me, like they were all the one with the problem. Or the guy I was with, whoever the guy I was with. If you would just behave, if you would just be what I want you to be, then I would feel better. So basically, I didn't want to be miserable. I wanted to be happy. So I really, no matter what kind of tough shit I went through, I kept reaching for what could make me happy. What's a higher vibration? What's a higher feeling? What's a better situation? This job feels shitty. I think I'm going to, try for a different job, because I started to love myself. I started to love myself, and I started to strive for better and better and better situations, people, scenarios, whatever, and I stopped, using my body irresponsibly and everything else. I just started growing up, basically, and maturing. So then I went from a karmic I evolved into a divine feminine. So and many that I talked to, not all, but many of the divine feminines I talked to went through a similar path. Not necessarily that sleeping around or any specifics, but just that they were, struggled in relationships to try to, you know, um, struggle and push it and force it and grab onto somebody, because, it's like when you're a karmic, you see an opportunity, everything's an opportunity. So you're like, okay, I want a guy, I need some company. So I'm going to look for, you have your list, they need to have stability. They need to have this, they need to have that, da, 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 da. And then you start going off the list and if they take the bait, you know, and they're attracted to you or whatever, and they start checking off those boxes, you start seeing where, oh, I could make a lot of money off of this, or I could have, you know, this is the stability that I'm looking for. This is the fame that I'm looking for. This is the, whatever it is that you are in lack about, basically, if whatever you're in lack about, if you feel like you need a lot of money, you'll be totally focused on money, or you won't feel okay. You know, if whatever you cannot, I mean, or whatever you're like really almost greedy about, even some of you are all about greed. So you might lie to get the guy. You might, you know, tell him things that aren't true, which is a lie. But, you know, you might get, you know, put him in situations or whatever. It's like very, very manipulative. You might even act like outright like a totally different person, like somebody you think that he would like, to fit into like kind of an idea of, yeah, to keep him. And a lot of you, and I'm talking people who've told me these stories. A lot of you have told me all these stories, and I've obviously been through some of them myself. Some of these processes and the manipulation and the trying to put a square peg into a round hole and force it in. If you had to take a sledgehammer and pound that thing in, you know, it's like going to happen because you're exactly what I'm looking for. Just act like I want you to act, you know? So basically, some of them even trap you into, and, you know, some karmics trap these guys into marriage, pregnancy, just to keep them. But underneath it all, when you're karmic, you're very insecure. You're not going to admit it. If you were to say something to the divine feminine, you'd be like, I don't know what he sees in you, you know? You know, that's because you're measuring things from the worldly perspective of immaturity. You're looking at like what, you know, whatever the world measures success by, or looks, or whatever. You may look perfect on the outside, but you may be rotten as a rotten apple on the inside, or you may look like an old hag on the inside. And you know darn well that your masculine sees that aspect of you sometimes. He gets a glimpse and he's like, oh my gosh, like, what is that? So that's that because you're unhealed. So when you haven't done the healing work yet, and all you've done is manipulate and play with people and seduce them, because that's all you got, you know, is like, well, they'll fall for my body, you know. You'll like put the sexy clothes on and show them your ass, and, you know, do whatever it takes to get them to catch them. But the sad and unfortunate thing about the karmic phase, or when you are a karmic, and some people never evolve past being a karmic for people. Some people get stuck, and like the divine feminines evolved past that. That for them was their immature phase. So they grow past it because they keep choosing love, and they keep choosing strength, and they keep choosing those types of things. But some of the karmics, they just get plain old, you know, I'm a victim and I'll forever be a victim. And all these guys I just keep choosing the wrong guy, and I just keep doing this, that, and the other thing. So they never take their power back. And the unfortunate thing is, if you don't grow and evolve and mature, I mean, you can pretend to be, this is like pretending to have an orgasm. You rob yourself of the experience of the real thing. And that's a terrible injustice. An orgasm is one of the most incredible things you can ever have, but it's got to be authentic. You can't fake it. And so it's the same thing. You cannot fake being somebody else that you're not. You can't fake being the divine feminine, acting all spiritual and stuff, because he's going to see your actions don't measure up at all. And he's going to see how easily you get triggered and stuff. And it's just like, okay, yes, we're all a work of art, and we all do get triggered from time to time. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, you know, your divine feminines are much more unconditionally loving, much more tolerant, much more patient, much more authentic. They really will tell you what they think and what they feel about something straight up. They don't waste their time. They've learned that, oh my gosh, it is such a waste of time to ever like, I mean, they're more apt to like sit down with you, tell you all their flaws and be like, are you cool with it? Because if you are, let's go. You know, what are yours? Like, let's compare notes here. Okay, let's go. They're not going to waste any time. And they're not going to fluff themselves. They know one day, they know if they put their makeup on for the date and make themselves look all incredible, when they wake up the next morning, they're not going to have that makeup on anymore. And you're going to see what they really look like underneath that. You know what I'm saying? So when you take the boobies out of the thing, your bra, the fake, you know what I mean? Anything that you do that's fake, it's going to be revealed in time. You're just hoping that when you're in the karmic phase, you're just hoping to trick them before they realize it, before they see it. So, which is fine. Everybody's got to grow at the rate they got to grow at. And some of them, like I said, don't even grow at all. They never grow. But the sad thing is, you karmics actually could have the potential of having somebody super incredible. Like I ended up having and not seeing, because I refused to believe that he actually loved me, because I was insecure that anybody could. I just thought, you know, everybody just wanted to have sex. And I just assumed he was a player like everybody else. And so, and I loved him tremendously, but he never had the guts to tell me that he loved me. So, and there's all these variations, because I didn't know back then I was also a masculine. And the masculine is somebody who runs away from love. They're the ones who, you know, the divine feminine chases them for a while, like, hey, where'd you go? We had this amazing connection. You know, and they're like, and they don't feel worthy, and they feel scared, and they feel like, no way, you're going to break my heart. I can't fall for you. It's not about them being prettier than you, karmics. So don't get all defensive. It's that just shows you guys aren't healing. If you have to get defensive and try to act like, it's not even like that, dude. It's like, when you meet a true love, you just know and you connect, and it's really incredible. It doesn't mean they're better than you. It means that they're just a perfect match for your person. And you're not. The sooner you can admit it, the better off it'll be for you, because you can find the best person for you. You can find your own perfect match. You know, that's what they do in the movies all the time. Movies reflect real life. Unfortunately, even the scary ones sometimes, but you know, at the end when they say, you know what, you looked good on paper, you checked all the boxes, but my heart is over here with this person. That's where we all need to come to. That's all I care about on this channel. I'm not like anti-karmic. The masculines have to go learn from their karmic lessons. They have to grow and mature too. They fall for all your traps, karmics. You know, they fall for all the bullshit you put out there. You know, because sometimes I know you're scratching your head like, how is he still like, how is he still falling for all this shit? Like, how is he still like, I got him duped. I got it wrapped around my finger, you know, and it's because they have low self-esteem. They're injured. They were treated like crap somehow in their life. And they're looking for approval, and they're looking for you to be okay with everything they do. And so they got to run it past you to get approval on everything. Stamped approval. Okay, you can behave that way. Okay, over there, nope, no, that's not acceptable. You know, so the karmics actually kind of act like a mean mom, or like a mean stepmom or something. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. But it's hurtful to both of you. It's hurtful to both of you, and both of you end up realizing and seeing that it's not worth it anymore, and you deserve better, and you're settling because they're not your true love. They have a true love that you know about, a lot of you. So don't, you know, be stubborn if you want to, but you're only going to put off the inevitable. You're divine masculine if you're with one, karmics. If they get some self-esteem, if they stop falling for your traps, they're eventually going to wake up. And if you can see the good in that, if you can see that, you know what, She's right. I have been immature in this relationship. And it's not even about like maturing within the relationship. That person is not the one for you. If you've been tricking him, manipulating him the whole time, trying to keep him, just like in the movies, that ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. If you're trying so hard to make him into something you want him to be, twisting and shaping and forming him into someone else, that's not the person for you. So just admit it to yourself. It's not a mistake. You learned a lot from that experience. You've grown now and you realize better. Now, some of you are outright using your person to get pregnant so you can have a kid. I knew a girl who said she was going to actually set out and do that. And as a result, I wasn't her friend anymore. I said, you do not do that to people. That is not the kind thing to do. I mean, even when I was a karmic, at least I wasn't like outright like mean, like a horrible person. Some of you, like, wow, you must have had some terrible upbringings to be such horrible people, to be vengeful and do black magic and all kinds of stuff. Like, what the hell? Some of you are just like, I don't know, crazy. But I mean, at least when I was a karmic, I was nice. I was nice enough to know the good from bad, but I was also had a big ego in the sense that I wasn't seeing my own shit. I wasn't self-aware enough. But you know, you grow up when you grow up. So stop pretending. You know, if you're a karmic, just stop pretending. Just admit to yourself the truth is you're settling, he's settling. You guys don't really like each other all that much. What the hell are you getting yourself into? And you're going to keep yelling and you're going to keep disagreeing and it's going to keep being really ugly because neither of you are really evolved enough to take you to the next level. So what happens is eventually, hopefully, usually, whether it takes a year or 10 or 20 sometimes, the divine masculine finally kind of graduates from that relationship. He doesn't want to be in a toxic relationship anymore. He wants to stop obeying his mother, his new mommy, and doing as she says when she doesn't even really like who he really is. And he finally leaves. And when he leaves, he gets liberated. And now the divine feminines would be just as happy with the divine masculines having the self-esteem and the courage to leave that relationship, period. To love themselves enough to liberate themselves from the tyranny, the manipulation, the lies, the seduction, all of that stuff, toxic stuff. They would just be cheering them on because they love them. They genuinely love who they are at their core. The divine feminines have evolved. They see themselves. They tell the truth. They don't lie. They're not faking it. They're not copying anybody. None of that stuff. They did that in the past when they were either the divine masculine or the karmic themselves. So they understand also. They understand. They stand inner on that subject because they have the wisdom that they've grown through, you know. So when everything, you know, naturally gets corrected, the divine feminine and the divine masculine are destined to ultimately come together. Now, as I say that though, what happens is when the masculines choose their ego or their fear or being controlled because that's what they're used to and that's what they're comfortable with, or they choose the money because they feel like that's going to give them their security rather than the love, which also comes with abundance, but they don't realize. But if they essentially choose the toxic or choose the toxic stuff or the bad stuff, in whichever way you want to take a look at it, the material stuff, the false, the illusory stuff, either the masculines are going to choose illusions or they're going to choose truth, basically, is what happens. So it's like the divine masculine's ultimate test, which is why I've got that video in my videos tab. Okay. They fall for illusions or they fall for truth. And if they fall for illusions, then they go for the karmic. And because she represents all that's fake and all that's an illusion, a big fake bubble, which only gets you by so far, but that it keeps you miserable and depressed and sad. And all he's doing, karmics, also is dreaming of the divine feminine. They're not happy about that future they're building with you. They may be agreeing with you that they're going to do it because it's more comfortable for them, because they've learned to be people pleasers in their life. But that's not love. That's just codependence. That's just toxic codependence. So this kind of love, it doesn't even compare with what they got over here. You will continuously catch them looking out the window, daydreaming about their divine feminine, girls. Like, don't even waste your time. Don't even waste your time. You're so settling for that. Why do you want to be with somebody who's daydreaming about somebody else all the time? Or just wanting to go run into their divine feminine's arms? Why would you put yourself through that anymore? You deserve better than that. You totally do. And you could have better than that. So over here, if he chooses the truth, if he chooses to validate who he really is, what he actually really loves, what he actually wants to do for a living, what he actually represents, what he actually wants to say, the boundaries he actually wants to have, and is actually doing those things, when he starts getting into that and becomes like totally empowered and strong and all those things that, you know, the karmic wishes he could be, but they're not meant to do with you. When they become naturally themselves and they become strong, they're naturally going to be drawn to their actual true love. So even if you think you're going to shape and form him over here into the perfect man, you're only shaping and forming him there for his perfect person. Because when they mature and they grow past that situation, or boot camp, I call it, boom, they're going to go straight to their real person. So because this real person over here is already there. So they just level up to their level. So thank you for the training you're providing, you know, and you can keep them trapped for as long as you want to. You know, you could keep them trapped for years and years and years. And the divine masculine, the divine feminine, she may marry someone else. And here's what happens is, the divine feminines, once you get to a certain level and you understand and you're practicing the law of attraction and you're manifesting things on a regular basis, you're loving yourself, you're living a happy life, you're providing for yourself, you can make your own money, so you're not in a state of lack, you're not needing a guy to fill that void, you're doing it, you're doing you, you're totally empowered it's not a gender thing, but you're in your feminine power. Whether you're a man or a woman, you're balanced, you come into harmony, you do all of this, and then you start manifesting other options. If the divine masculine, every time one of those divine masculines, because they keep coming, the divine masculine, they have a chance when they first meet their divine feminine. Am I at their level or not? And if they decide, no, I'm not at their level, I got to quit drinking, I got to quit smoking, I got to quit all these bad habits, and I still watch porn and I still do all these unhealthy things, then he's like, he knows inevitably the divine feminine would see right through that, and they just go with the karmic. They settle for the karmic because the karmic would put up with that stuff, maybe even join in, you know. And so they're much more comfortable, and especially if the karmic, you know, is mimicking some of the attributes, maybe even has the same name or looks like them, or I mean, I've seen it all. They try to replace their divine feminine with the karmic somehow. There's usually something similar about them, you know, that they can pretend that that's their divine feminine for a minute. So I don't know. But another thing to keep in mind too is the divine feminine actually was usually in most cases, the first, that your person, if you're a karmic, was the person he fell in love with first and fell deeper for. So, yeah, you were just the one that he went to because he didn't want to change his world up. He didn't want to flip everything upside down and stand in his own authentic power and say, Dad, I don't want to be a chiropractor anymore. I want to go be a fisherman, a fisher guide, a fishing guide, or whatever. Whatever it is. They weren't willing or able to level up at that period of their life, so they settled for you. So they went with you. And also, this one, if they got rejected by that person, then they would be absolutely shattered. But going out with you and having you break up with them, well, it's like, of course, that's pretty inevitable because they've told themselves, I don't deserve real love anyway. They're going to leave me anyway eventually. So I'll just take my bruises for that relationship, and I'll just let them thump me over the head a million times, telling me how worthless I am and how I never measure up and all that kind of nonsense. So it's sad, but it's kind of a necessary growth thing. But and what I was going to say is that when the divine masculines choose that route with you, then they close the door on their divine feminine, and the divine feminine then gets other suitors. That's what happens when you get to that level and you keep leveling up and good things keep happening for you and you keep striving for healing and love and all that. So it becomes fairly likely the divine feminine will get another suitor anyway and not even be with your masculine. But maybe she'll be with your masculine in 10, 20 years. Who knows how it all works out. But just know that your masculine, your boyfriend or your husband or whatever he is, that you had to fake into it, that you had to pretend to be a nice person for, or that you had to trick him and get pregnant for, or that you had to lie to be, like the other person, or, if you've had to work and 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 work to keep that going, and you are just not happy with who he is, he has a true love that's out there just loving him from afar, wanting to be with him, even not sleeping with other guys for years and years and years because she loves him so much. He could be with her. And you might very well have somebody you overlooked like I did. You might have somebody who actually really truly loves you for who you are, and you guys could be running around acting like a couple kids together. Instead of having kids to just trap a guy, you could actually have kids with a guy that you feel like a big kid with. That's my hope, is that everybody just starts matching up with the right people that you can truly be happy with, that everybody can be like little kids and be healed. And that's the kind of person who works with you and not against you in a relationship. They don't fight with you. They're like, oh man, I got really triggered. Let's talk about it. What could we do? How could we evolve? And shortcuts never pay off either, by the way, karmics. Putting black magic on somebody and stuff like that, it's another immature thing. It's just another immature thing. And immaturity is fine, but the unfortunate thing about black magic, though, is you really reap some serious karmic karma. So you really do have hell to pay, and it really is not. It's not fun. I've seen karmics' lives ruined by putting black magic on people. So I would never take a shortcut. If I were you, I would just never do that. Yeah, karmics can, if you're mean and nasty and just a horrible person, just totally faking everybody out, you're probably just very, very hurt and unhealed. And you need to work on that, because you can be happy. You could be yourself and be happy. You really could. even now. Well, unless you're a total psychopath, which is a lot of the case, actually. If you're a psychopath or a sociopath or something like that, you're yeah, but you know it. And that if that's the case, you already know that you're like that, and you're just just playing with your person, like a cat and mouse game, just pinning them down, torturing them, pinning them down, thinking it's funny. Then if that's the case, I just hope that your divine masculine figures it out and gets the hell out of there as safely as he can. And hopefully he's not too screwed up to not be able to come to his divine feminine, more open-hearted. So it's all just like everything else in life, you guys. It's just all just growing and learning, evolving, becoming more neutral, becoming more patient, becoming more kind, or in the karmic's case, getting more money, getting more fame, getting more attention, and all of that. One person after another. Oh, I guess that I ran out of steam on that one. So let's go to the next one. So, but however it is, it's all supposed to work out just as it is. It all has a divine purpose. So no, there's no reason to be mad at the karmic. It's the divine masculines that are getting duped. And you shouldn't even get mad at them for that either, because they're, you get screwed over till you finally figure it out. Just like we did, I had one after the other. Very good looking people, great sex, the whole thing. And just finally got to a point where I woke up and I was like, this is really stupid. This is really stupid. I don't know any of these people in a deep way that's meaningful. I don't feel loved for who I actually am. None of these guys even actually really know me. And this is just really a lame way to live. A very dishonest and lame way to live. When I snapped out of that fog, and just got really honest with myself, things really started to change for the better. And I would so much rather be single. So much rather be single than be out there manipulating and playing the field and having sex with a bunch of people just because I feel insecure and not good enough. I can make myself happy. I mean, in every way, shape, and form in my life. I don't need anybody. And when I choose to be with somebody, it's going to be because we love each other and know each other deeply. And maybe, with this suitor, with that one, or somebody brand new. I mean, at this point in my journey, I'm so fed up with my masculines being, making bad decisions still, that I'm just like, bring on somebody new. Bring on somebody new who's ready for something real. That's what I want, so that's going to happen for me. I have no idea I'm open to guys of the past if they finally get some balls on, but most of them are still doing the people pleasing and choosing the fake world, choosing money, choosing, comfort, choosing, to be bossed around or whatever. And then if that suits them, that suits them. I've just gotten to that point where it's just like, you can't even be mad anymore. It's actually kind of funny. It's really, you got to laugh. You just really got to laugh, because they're some of them are just completely duped and don't even see it, or just are in denial and don't want to know, or they're too scared of the person or something, which is really funny in itself. Like, why would you be with somebody and pretend that you're loving somebody that you're actually scared of? I did it, you guys. I'm not saying anything here that I myself haven't done or been involved in. I know it well. That's what makes me a good teacher of all of this, is I know all aspects of it, of all of the different paradigms involved. So I just wanted to give you maybe a little bit of a different perspective and a spin on this whole true love journey. It's all to inspire you to grow, to be better people. It's all to inspire you to love yourself more. And when you can love yourself more, guess what? You'll treat other people better automatically. It's just natural. And when you love yourself, you start even talking to your higher self. And when you're talking to your higher self is the soul within you, is born of God. You are one with God in your soul. So you get direct transmissions from spirit. You get to live an inspired and in spirit life. And you start having incredible magic happen. Miracles happen all around you. You get to see the most amazing things unfold in your life. And you have an intimate, close relationship with God, the creator. And it feels like bliss. And you feel really genuinely happy and satisfied and fulfilled. And you don't need much. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need a big fancy house. You don't need all that. You don't need people to look up to you. Oh, you don't need any of that shit. Because you're just happy. You're just happy to wake up and have the simplest life ever. So, and that's incredible. Then you could go have a big mansion then, but you're happy. You're not in a big fake world in a big fake mansion. You're in a mansion and you're giddy like a little kid, all happy and genuine. You know? Once you have the basics, once you're happy as a person at the basics and you know how to, be at one with life and have it feel so magical, you can have all the abundance in the world, and it's actually built on a solid foundation, not on a fake sand that can just get washed away. So stand with God. God to me is group of deities. It's your spirit. It's oneness with all. All of us are one. It's all consciousness. And we are just all different facets of the same beautiful diamond. Some unpolished sides and some shining bright. But we're all different aspects of the same thing, and none of us are better than anybody else. We need not judge anyone in this process. We're just all at different places. That's all. And if I could wave a magic wand over everything, I'd be like, everybody just be with their person. Just be with that person that you love, and love yourself. If everybody could just put their hand over their heart, it'd be like things would shift so quick. Put their hand over their heart. I love you. I love you. I want to give you the very best in your life. I want you to be completely fulfilled and happy and giddy like a little kid every time you wake up. I want you to be able to feel so comfortable with whoever you're with that it just feels like, second nature. You don't even think about how you're being and what you're saying or what they're doing or anything. You're just being yourselves, laughing and being silly and just having a blast. And your kids are too, And if you think keeping a relationship, by the way, keeping a relationship going because you trapped them with kids or you got trapped with kids, please. Your kids are going to grow up learning how to lie and manipulate just like that karmic does. Your kid is going to grow up really screwed up, and it's going to see that example played out every single day that you sit there and suffer in the stench of the lies, the deceit, the cheating, all of it. I don't think you're doing your kids some kind of justice by staying in a rotten relationship. You're not. Your kids are going to have to overcome that. So don't use that as an excuse by any means. And don't stick to stupid promises with karmics, please. Good Lord, I hear about that too. Just because you're guilty, just because you're a guilty person with a guilty conscience, you're going to, you accidentally hurt your karmic or something, and all of a sudden you have to spend the rest of your life enslaved to her, paying her rent every month and stuff. Oh my gosh, where are you guys even coming from sometimes? You can make your retributions by right action. Do something kind and loving for that person and make up to them. Just be like, what can I do to make things up to you? Do that one thing and be done with it. You shouldn't have to be miserable your entire life because of a mistake you made or a promise that you made that isn't even valid anymore because you're not even wanting to be together anymore. Just common sense, you guys. Get rid of the guilt and the shame. Heal. Hand on your heart. I love you no matter what you ever do. I love you for all the shit in the past. I love you for all the pain you've caused. I love you for all the pain you're gonna cause, because you're human, or you're, a man or a woman. But just love yourself. Stop beating yourself up. That's your only problem. And that's what's keeping you in that stuff. That's what's keeping you with that karmic and hooked in and not able to assert your boundaries and not able to just walk the hell out of there. Go ahead and have a baby with the karmic and take the baby with you. Escape that horrible place. Jeez. But don't put your kids through that. Don't stay in a horrible relationship like that that's past its expiration point and is starting to stink. So I don't know. And you divine feminines need to be prepared too, because the energies right now are really supporting these divine masculines leaving these karmics, because they are seeing the truth. You may have a number of different suitors you're going to have to sort through. So I would say with that, just because you've had a long history doesn't mean you should choose him or her. You really want to see them be authentic, and you'll be able to see through it if they're faking you out or pretending to be something that they're not, or they try acting like the karmic or something. You'll see through it, because they're also at different levels too. They may just shock the crap out of you and all of a sudden be much more mature than you knew. They may have really, stepped up to the plate, and they may really be ready to go. I've seen that. But they also might be just, I don't know, just have an open heart and an open mind and keep healing your triggers so that you're ready to listen with a totally wide open mind and truly look for what could stand a lifetime. Divine feminines they're not wasting their time. They don't want to just date somebody. They don't want to just get married for 2-3 years and get a messy divorce. They're done with that. They're looking for somebody they could be with for the rest of their lives. So masculines, if you're gonna come forward to a feminine, be honest. Just be honest. That's all she's looking for, is be honest. Even if you have to be honest and you're like, you know what, I really just can't bring myself to believe that I'm good enough for you. Say that and leave, but at least be honest. And if you are willing to love yourself enough to believe in that connection, then know that nobody's perfect, and you're going to be a work of art, both of you, a work of progress, maybe a work of art too. But you guys are going to heal together. It's not about being perfect. She doesn't want you to have a bunch of money. She doesn't care about that. She doesn't care about you being perfect in every way, not even being the perfect listener, not anything. She just wants you to try. She just wants you to, cooperate and not run off every time, and there's any kind of problem. Stop running with your tail between your legs. Be willing to just have some back and forth, reciprocation and honesty. Because that's, you owe it to your divine feminine. If you've been going through this for ages, admit some truth to someone. It might be liberating. Try it with one person, try it with another one, try it with another one. Oh my gosh, that feels actually really good to just tell my truth. There you go. Now go to your divine feminine and tell her what the truth is, whatever that is. It doesn't even matter what the truth is. Divine feminines are just all about truth. You're going to liberate them to, if you say, look, I don't deserve you, you deserve better. And you really mean it. And you're just like, that means you're staying in your victim mentality and that's your choice. That's great. Now she can go find somebody else that could be really good for her. So, and divine feminines, don't limit it to just one person. I'm telling you, like you never know what these masculines are going to do. They'll go out with another karmic or whatever. Just if they haven't worked on their self-esteem, if they've stayed in a victim mentality and they just keep thinking that, oh, all love is going to be that way, woe is me, oh, they're going to stay stuck like that, then you're just going to be hanging on and be depressed and crying year after year over every holiday. Oh, he missed my birthday. Oh, he missed Christmas. Oh, he missed Valentine's Day. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Just stay present in the moment and just be happy with your life. Just be happy to be single, man. Just be happy. What are all the wonderful, incredible things about being single? It is freaking awesome. If you make it that, if you make it awesome. So don't, just keep healing. Everybody just keep healing. Just keep healing. That's the name of the game. Keep loving yourself and keep healing, and you'll get through this just fine, and you'll end up with who you're meant to be with. So I just want to put a blessing out to everyone who's watching this video. And thank you if you've lasted this long. I know it's kind of a convoluted subject, but I just thought it was needed at this time. So have compassion for others. Don't judge other people. Don't do anything underhanded or take any shortcuts. Live your true, authentic life. Be true to yourself and heal. So that's pretty much it. All right. So I'm going to do a blessing to help you with all of that, and also to help you align with who's actually very best for you, and to get you to the point where you can align with that person. Because if you're still too immature, or you still don't take personal responsibility, you still don't see your stuff, and you're still playing games, then you got a ways to go. But then the blessing will help provide that way for you, the way of you accelerating your learning to be able to be with that person. Okay. All right. Hapama shishena atan se ela I. Hekim poma ama ashin she ela popo homa an. Ta ela hansa and se shikina tei. Hala se pe he shin she. Hapa homa obahana taiken sa se she ela hana apan. Okay, let me see what I have here. All right, so I'm going to pull some spirit cards. Wow. If you had any idea how protected you are, you wouldn't spend another wasted moment on worry. Stop talking about negative things in your life and start only talking about what you're grateful for. Take your complaints inside to hash out in the stillness of your heart. Yes, a move or a trip would do you a world of good if you've been thinking about that. You'll be supported no matter the decision that you make. Just take it one step at a time and know you're being led. Most, if not all, of what you're going through involves ascension or leveling up. You'll soon see why all this had to happen, so just the way that it did, so trust. Don't rely on anyone else to save you. Learn to be your own best friend and savior. You have it all within you. When you start loving yourself, you'll see that. Shortcuts never pay off. At the end of the day, make the decision that'll make you smile as you drift off to a peaceful slumber. No harm can come to you. Ask more questions to gain clarity about things instead of judging or assuming. All right. Anything else? Be conscious of your breath and sensations in your body more often. Splitting your attention between your body and the material world increases your peace, vitality, and intuitive abilities. Your divine feminine is not in competition with you, karmics. She's completely out of your league. She is the person for your person. So there's no tit for tat. There's no comparisons. There's no nothing. Who cares who's better looking? Who cares who has the better body? Nobody cares about that. They're just your person's person. So the quicker you can come to that realization, the better for you. And I'm looking out for you. It truly is better for you and for them and for everybody involved. So, yeah. Anyway, have yourselves a beautiful day. And I hope this helped everybody understand everybody's position and perspective, and that, you know, can stop any silliness or nonsense. Just get with your person. All right. Bye.